Okay, so we are in the chapter of Al-Mubtada wa Al-Khabar, and we've reached where the author says, وَظَرْفًا مَنْصُوبًا نَحْوُ وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ وَجَارًا وَمَجْرُورًا كَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ وتعلقهما بمستقر أو استقر محذوفين. Yes. So then he says, وظرفا منصوبا نحو والركب أسفل منكم وجارا ومجرورا كالحمد لله رب العالمين وتعلقهما بمستقر أو استقر محذوفين. So يعني وظرفا منصوبا يعني ويقع الخبر ظرفا منصوبا. He says it right in the sharh. And he gives you two examples. Yeah, well, one example. وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ or جَارًا وَمَجْرُورًا. And then he gives you an example. Like الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ وَهُمَا حينئذ متعلقان بمحذوف وجوبا تقديره مستقر تقديره مستقر أو استقر. Let me explain first, then I'll read how those people translated it. So his first example is وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ. So what does it mean? The rakb is the caravan. Asfala below. Min from. Kum you. وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ. And the caravan was below you. So for the context, that was verses revealed about the battle of it's the battle of Badr, if I'm not mistaken. So what happened? That's the battle in which after the Muslims moved to Medina, or the Prophet and the companions from Mecca moved to Medina, and Quraysh had a caravan. The Muslims wanted to intercept that caravan. The Quraysh managed to protect their caravan and get it back to Mecca safely. And they sent an army out. And the Muslims and those kuffar met and fought. So the ayah is addressing the believers. وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ. The caravan was below you. You were at an elevated position and the caravan was lower. So, الرَّكْب is the mubtada, nominal subject. Asfala minkum, not even minkum, just asfala. Asfala is khabar, predicate. Okay. That's what he's saying. That's what Ibn Hisham is saying. وَيَقَعُ الْخَبَرُ ظَرْفًا. So here, the khabar fell as a zarf. But is that really the khabar though? If you remember previous lessons, you know that's not really the khabar. That's why he said afterwards, وَتَعَلُّقُهُمَا بِمُسْتَقِرٍ أَوْ اسْتَقَرَّ مَحْذُوفَيْن. That's where the khabar is. We're going to come back to it, inshallah. He said, or it can fall as a jar and a majroor, like Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdu, that's the mubtada. Lillahi, that's the jar and the majroor. That fell as the khabar. It's not really the khabar though. Okay. So the scholars, they do say about this zarf and this jar and majroor khabar, but that's only summarization and simplification. And uh yani it's simplification. It's not exactifying the khabar. It's an acceptable statement of the scholars to call this the khabar when it's not really. So what is the khabar? He says, وَتَعَلُّقُهُمَا بِمُسْتَقِرٍ أَوْ اسْتَقَرَّ مَحْذُوفَيْن. The khabar in reality is either mustaqir or istaqar. Why he said either this one or that one? Because these are two madhabs. He's telling you the scholars have two madhabs. What the real khabar is, they say the real khabar is either mustaqir or what has its meaning. The real point behind the example of mustaqir is that it's an ism. Or istaqarra, that's a fi'lun madin, past tense verb, but it has a damir mustatir huwa, which means that really it's a sentence. That's a complete sentence there. And that's the real meaning behind istaqarra being the khabar according to some. They say it's a sentence. So what Ibn Hisham is saying is that the real khabar is either a noun or a sentence. If it's a noun, then its taqdir is mustaqir, or what means mustaqir, like ka'in. Ka'in means mustaqir, or hasil, or thabit. All of those are valid taqdirs, taqdirat. They all have the same meaning. Here. Or mawjud. And likewise, you can bring the verbs of these same ones and put them here. It's going to have the same meaning. So instead of istaqarra, yani kana. Or hasala. And it doesn't have to be the maldi. I'm just saying the maldi because istaqarra is maldi. Could be istaqarra or yastaqirru. The point really is that it's a sentence, not a verb, but a verbal sentence. A verbal sentence, etc. Hasala, thabata. Why? Why are we going through all of this? Because in reality, it's not valid for the zarf or the jar and the majroor to be the khabar. Why? Because in reality, the zarf is mansub. And khabar is never mansub. How is zarf going to be the khabar? So the zarf can't be the khabar really because it's not marfu'. Also, the jar and the majroor can't be the khabar really because it's not marfu'. Then something else is the khabar really. Yani, not just that. It's not just because it's not marfu'. It's not even independent. The zarf and the jar and the majroor, they are for sure in meaning linked to something, a verb. That's why we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim or Bismillah. We say fundamentally and from the jump, as they say, there's something implied here. This is not even a khabar. Just saying it without it being a khabar for mubtada, we're going to say there's something implied. Because it's a jar and a majroor. It needs to be linked to something. Yani, remember, what is the function of a harf jar? A harf jar in the first place is like a circuit. If you see a harf jar, then you need to immediately be looking for a verb. Either it's in the sentence or an action if you want. You need to immediately be scanning for an action. Either it's in the sentence or else it's implied. Because the harf jar, its function is to get that meaning of the action and connect it to a noun. You say, jalastu fil bayt. So fi connected the julus to the bayt. Jalastu ala al-kursi. Now ala connected the julus to the kursi. And you use the same verb. In one case, you used fi. In one case, you used ala. The harf jar in both cases did the same thing, which is that it took the meaning of the action and made it relevant to a noun. So here we have in Bismillah, for example, we have a harf jar. So we know for sure, just by default, that there is an action involved somewhere. What's that action? Maybe it's abda, I start. Or maybe it's amali, my act. Meaning, maybe your intention is, I start in the name of Allah. Or maybe your intention is, I eat in the name of Allah. I work in the name of Allah. I study and not start per se, but whatever the act is. But there's an act. Same thing. Alhamdulillah, here's lamb, harf jar. There needs to be then an act. Is it the hamd? It's not the hamd. The hamd is the mubtada. Needs a khabar. So this lillah is linked to something that's really the khabar. And same thing for the zarf. The zarf is a maf'ul. If it's a maf'ul, yeah, it's maf'ul fihi. If it's maf'ul, then there must be a verb or an action. Then that's the khabar, not this word here. But when they want to summarize, they're going to, or simplify, they're going to say the zarf is the khabar, or the jar and the majroor is the khabar. Is this clear so far?
No.
Okay. So what's that real khabar? Ibn Hisham said it's either mustaqir or istaqar. Where they came up with this? It's the meaning of wujud that they want, which is existence. Yani, kaun. Kaun. This is what they want. Kaun, the meaning of kaun, being. Either way, it has the meaning of being. Mustaqir or istaqar. That's why I gave all these other alternatives. Thabit, mawjud, hasil, ka'in. Being. يعني confirmed, etc. Well, okay. So someone might say, okay, the khabar is a jar and a majroor, or it's a dharf, but it's not really the khabar because can't be. It doesn't really fulfill the condition of a true khabar, so something else is the khabar. Yani not just doesn't fulfill the condition of a true khabar, that's why, but because not even independent. The dharf and the jar and the majroor, they're not even independent. They need to be linked to something. So whatever they are linked to, that's the khabar. That's the ta'alluq. The link is the ta'alluq. Okay. So what is it that they are linked to then? This, قد you call this phantom word? It's mustaqir or istaqar. So someone might say, why? We'll say, well, it's not those words per se, but it's the meaning of kaun that is the important thing. You could use other words. So someone might say, so both of those have the meaning of kaun, being? The answer is yes. Mustaqir and istaqar. So someone might say, why you say or then? That's what Ibn Hisham said. Or because these are two madhabs, whether it's mustaqir or istaqar. Some scholars said mustaqir or what's like mustaqir. Most important thing that it's a noun. Some said istaqar, يعني, or yastaqir, ماضي مضارع, or what has their meaning. كان حصل ثبت يثبت يحصل يكون. The main point here is that it's a sentence with its ضمير, ضمير مستتر if it's هو. Okay. Why do they have two madhabs here? Because they're trying to determine what the khabar is here. So let me rewrite it. الركب أسفل منكم. So this ظرف is mansub. It's a maf'ul. It needs an action to activate it, to activate its nasb and make it a maf'ul. It needs an actor to activate it. So what is it? So why the scholars differed here? Some of them said, well, we're looking for the khabar, right? Yes, we're looking for the khabar. So what would the khabar be originally? Wouldn't it be a single noun? Yeah, it would be a single noun. Okay. So we want a single noun then. Eh, then someone might say, okay, it's a noun, but how are you going to account for the nasab here? Then the answer is it's a noun that has the power to put something into the state of nasab, such as mustaqir, a sifa, the sifa, an adjective. Yeah, it has to be an adjective, a sifa. An adjective can act as a verb. So here they said this is our khabar, a single noun that's in the state of rafa, mustaqirrun. Ar-rakbu mustaqirrun. Asfala, below you, the caravan is existing. The caravan is existent below you. But we are just gonna not say existent, and we're gonna say the caravan is below you. So that's the way of some of them. Others, they said, yeah, it's true that the origin of a khabar is a single noun. Yes, you would say Zaydun qa'imun, for example. Zayd is standing or a stander, a standing one. True. They said, but what's the origin of something that makes a dharf mansub? Would it be a noun fundamentally, or would it be a verb? So we all agree it would be a verb fundamentally. In fact, if you say it's a noun like mustaqir, you're going to say the noun is acting like a verb. That shows you that the noun is actually copying the verb here. So the true taqdir, according to this other madhab, is the verb. And when they say verb here, they mean the sentence, the verb with its pronoun. So, according to them, the taqdir is al-raqbu istaqarra asfala minkum, or yastaqirru asfala minkum. The caravan exists below you. So they say, therefore, we're going to say the taqdir is istaqarra. Yani istaqarra huwa. So the first party is saying, not istaqarra, that's a jumla. Why would your taqdir be other than the original thing that should be there? You're making a taqdir, and your taqdir is not the original thing that should be there, as if your taqdir has a taqdir. But those other ones who using the verb, they said, yes, not the original kind of word that would be there, but you're doing the same thing. Because even though you want to choose a noun to represent what the khabar would originally be, which is a single noun, very true, but in order to account for how the dharf got mansub, you had to make the noun copy a verb. So that shows you that the meaning, the verbal meaning, is more important here. It's that verbal meaning that has the priority, plus the fact that a sentence can validly take the place of a khabar, a single noun khabar. So the taqdir is a jumla here, not a single noun. So then they went back and forth here. Some said this way, some said that way. And that's why the scholars say taqdiruhu istaqarra mustaqirrun aw istaqarra. Meaning mustaqir according to a madhab, istaqarra according to another madhab. Same thing for Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Lillahi, the praise is, so that's your mubtada, mustaqirrun lillah, or yastaqirru lillah. Either way, same difference as they say. Okay. Now let's see what the translators said. They said an accusative adverb, that's the zarf. An accusative adverb of time or place, but calling it an adverb Someone will have to clarify for me how it's an adverb. Yes, it's accusative in Arabic. وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ. When you translate it, though, which this is a translation here, when you translate it, the translation will render asfal as a preposition, below or under. If anything, I'd say it's an accusative preposition, not a genitive one, not an adverb, but meaning it is prepositional. That's why right here it's a counterpart to the jar and the majrur. It's like the dharf and the jar and the majrur are cousins. That's the relationship, a relationship between nouns and particles, asma and huruf. Are there any asma and huruf that are related? Yes, there's some. They have slight distance in their relationship, in their kinship. They're like cousins. Harf jar and dharf. I like to say prepositional noun and prepositional particle. Here in their translation, they said accusative. It is accusative, but it is according to standard translation, grammar translation or grammar terms. It's a preposition. Unless someone's going to clarify for me how is an adverb. Over or under, asfal. How's the adverb? I don't see it at all. So, an accusative preposition of time or place. That makes it more clear for you. That's prepositional. Prepositional is time or place or what? Status. The status is the proverbial time or place. Yani the figurative time or place. I'm before you in status. I'm over you in status. I'm under you in status. I'm after you in status. So that's preposition in meaning. So they said an accusative adverb of time or place. So I'd say, and if I want to keep the word accusative here, وظرفا منصوبة. Yes. So mansub, the word accusative needs to stay because in the Arabic, Ibn Hisham said وظرفا mansuban. He said mansuban, so accusative. Zarf, so they're translating zarf as adverb. I can't agree unless someone will show me how. So then an accusative preposition, alternatively, of time or place. And they added this. Of time or place, they added that. That's not in the Arabic. Just zarf. An accusative preposition. Now, if you understand what preposition means, it means time or place. You don't have to say it. Such as وَالرَّكْبُ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُمْ. Okay, that's clear, inshallah. Or a genitive particle operand pair. So maybe that's very fine words there. I feel like it can be simplified. Yani, a prepositional phrase. What's a prepositional phrase? Is the preposition and its object. So they said a genitive particle operand pair. Feel like that has maybe a few more buttons and bells and whistles there than needs to have. Like Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Like Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And it means, like I told you, Lillahi, that's the jar and the majroor, that's clear for you. Then the translator says, in the final two cases, the adverb and genitive particle operand pair are associated with the omitted word mustaqirrun or istaqarra. Associated?
Yeah, Ustaz,
Yes.
I mean, some English, British, and American grammarians, they say that regarding the adverb, that it could modify verb, adjective, another adverb, or an entire clause or sentence. Um,
Mhm.
uh, that in summary, it's a word or a group of words that serves to modify a whole sentence. A verb, like I just said, a verb, another adverb, or an adjective. Um,
Yes.
um,
Yeah, that's fine. Yani,
so in that,
for me, adverb is hal, not zarf. The hal does all of that.
mm, mm, mashallah.
طيب. Okay. So they said it's associated with, so متعلق, linked to, I feel like associated is not strong enough word. Linked to, but maybe it's fine. The omitted word مستقر. Oh, استقر, and in the Metin, Ibn Hisham said محذوفين, omitted. And what did he say in the explanation? بمحذوف وجوبا, بمحذوف وجوبا. Yani, going back here, this mustaqir or istaqarra that is omitted and only implied, it must be omitted. You are not to say it. It will be wrong to say it. Why? Seems fine. Because when you're dealing with a zarf or a jar and a majroor, these two prepositions, this prepositional noun and this prepositional particle, they have the meaning of existence in them. The meaning of existence is strong enough in them to not have to say existence. So if this were true in English, then it means you don't say Zayd is existing in the house, and it would be a mistake if it were true, exactly true in both languages. They are saying in Arabic, it's wrong to say that right there, here, which would translate as Zayd is, or the caravan is existing below you. The praise is existing for Allah. Rather, you remove this word of what's called kaun, general existence, broad existence. Yeah, I need just general existence. So these prepositions here, this prepositional noun and prepositional particle, they can promote the meaning of general existence in such a way that enables us to not mention the verb of existence or the verb to be, if you want. We don't have to mention the verb to be here. Rather, you're going to mention a verb here when that verb expresses kaunun khas, which means uh, special or specialized or particular existence. That means anything other than general existence. So if what you want to express is some action other than existing, then you must say that action unless you have a proof for it, unless there's a valid way to omit it and still have it as a taqdir. For example, I know a way. Uh, if someone said, "Where is Zaid sleeping?" So sleeping is what? That's more than mere existence. That's kaun khas, sleeping. So someone said, "Fil bait." Fil bait means what? Na'im fil bait, sleeping, or yanamu. Yanamu fil bait. He's sleeping fil bait. But you're not saying the verb because it's implied here based on the context. It's answering the question. Otherwise, you don't say Zaydun fil bait and you mean he's sleeping. It's not valid. Not without a dalil. Or Zaydun fil bait, you mean he's eating. Zaydun fil bait, you mean he's praying. That's not valid. You say Zaydun fil bait and you mean existing. That's valid. And furthermore, last thing, you can say this mustaqir or istaqar. You may if there's a point behind it. If the only thing you want to express is the general existence, then don't say it. You're not supposed to. It would be a mistake. But if there were a point behind mentioning it, then you do say it. Like for emphasis, Alhamdu thabitun lillah. Or like that. In the Quran, Allah told us that the companion of Prophet Sulaiman, alayhi salatu wassalam, he retrieved the throne of Balqis, this throne made of gold, adorned with jewels, and bigger than a house. He went from Syria to Yemen, retrieved this enormous throne, and brought it back to Syria in the blink of an eye. So Allah told us that when Sulaiman ra'ahu mustaqirran indahu, ra'ahu mustaqirran indahu. So, indahu, that's your dharf right there. Is it possible to say ra'ahu indahu? Yes, it's very possible to say ra'ahu indahu. He saw it in his presence. But Allah told us ra'ahu mustaqirran indahu. Then it's for a gharad. That's for a goal then. It's not here for it's mere general existence. It's for something more than that. So if we looked in some of the different translations of Quran and saw how they translated that, I wonder what translators may have caught that point, because sometimes they do. You know, not to encourage people to read in what's it called, Yusuf Ali, but for my work on tafsir in doing comparing tafsir translations or Quran translations, I say Yusuf Ali is relatively strong compared to many others. A lot of the points in the tafsirs actually strove, in the Yusuf Ali translation, he actually strove to bring that meaning out. So back in the day, we were always talking about, Yusuf Ali, it has mistakes in it, but we still didn't know really a lot. He did more in there than we reckoned that he did for you. Wallahu a'lam. We'll stop there.